Hey, thanks for joining me today. It's Tuesday with Ty, and today I want to talk about who our influences are and who we influence, and primarily not just influence, but where does our advice come from? Where does our counsel come from? Whenever I'm struggling with something, when it comes to ministry, I've got lots of people that I trust to give me good, godly advice, and I can turn to. I can turn to Pastor John. I can turn to Chan Ray. I can turn to Daniel Kendall and turn to those guys and say, hey, what about this? Or, man, I'm struggling with this. What do you think about this? I've got other youth ministry buddies, Holden and Kyle. I've got Zach Priest, who used to be the youth minister here, is a friend of mine. I can bounce ideas off of guys and say, hey, have you tried this before? Or what do you do in this situation? Or, man, I've got a student struggling with this. What kind of advice would you give? Or have you had to deal with a situation like this? And I think that we find that God gives us good counsel and gives us people that surround us that have wisdom in certain situations so that we might be able to help people and we might be able to be helped by people. We see an example of this in Exodus chapter 18, where Moses is having to judge amongst all the people, and his father-in-law Jethro sees all the things that Moses is having to do, and he goes, hey, Moses, you're going to wear yourself out, bud. He goes to Moses and tells him, look, you can't bear this kind of burden and maintain what God needs you to maintain. Why don't you set some people over groups of 10 and groups of 50 and groups of 100 and groups of 1,000, and then whenever there's a really big problem, instead of you having to judge everybody of these million plus Israelites, and you having to hear their every complaint and you having to hear their every dispute, why don't you set some people over them that you trust and that you teach how to judge wisely, and then when there's a big complaint, they can bring that one to you. That way they can help bear the burden. And it's really good advice. Moses already got worn smooth by the Israelites, griping and complaining and not trusting God, and then also coming to him and saying, who is this guy that led us out of Egypt? He led them out of slavery, but they still came and griped and complained to him. What if he had to deal with their everyday, daily problems? This was good advice from Jethro to set these judges up. And so it made me begin to think, who are the people in my life that give me good advice? Who do I seek good, godly advice from? And it's the question for our daily devotion today is, who do you get good, godly counsel from? If it's just me and Pastor John, on our daily devotions, or maybe you just get good, godly counsel on Sunday mornings, I want to encourage you to reach out and really spend some time praying, saying, God, who could give me good, godly wisdom in my life? Who could pour into me so that I can learn to walk deeply and walk intimately with you? God also might be using you to give wisdom to people. God might use you to help support and lift up somebody else in their time of need. Because God tells us in James 1:5 to ask for wisdom, because God gives wisdom and he gives it generously. Maybe you're one of those people through whom God is going to give wisdom. So I just wanted us to be aware of who we seek counsel from, who we lean on, and who leans on us. I want to encourage you to be an encourager when someone comes to you looking for wisdom. And I want to encourage you to spend time in prayer saying, God, who can I be an encourager to today? Whoever might ask me for advice, God, give me the right words to say. And also, God, help me to look for those people to encourage me, to give me good, godly advice, and give me discernment to know what's good, godly advice and what's worldly advice. So, who are you leaning on? Who's leaning on you? It's good things to be aware of. It's good things to spend time praying about. I encourage you to read Exodus 18, and I think it even pours a little bit in. Oh, no, it's just Exodus 18. I had to glance real quick. Read Exodus 18, see what Jethro had to say to Moses, and be encouraged today to have good, wise, godly counsel. Until next time, we'll see you.